back at home, investigators want to know if the wife of the Orlando gunman helped him plan the attack. Sources say that Noor Salman was texting with Omar Mateen during the rampage and was with him when he cased the nightclub. She's cooperating with investigators but could face charges. Jeff Pegues is tracking the investigation from Washington. Jeff, can you tell us what the latest is?
Well, the latest is this focus on this communication between Mateen and his wife, Noor. It happened, we're told, according to law enforcement, toward the end of the standoff with police. So it happened at around 4 a.m. is what our sources are telling us. You may recall that this is a situation that ended with Mateen's death at about 5 a.m., so an hour later. So during this period, between 4 and 5 a.m., there is this communication between the killer and his wife, in which he asks her something along the lines of, "Have you seen what's going on?" And so there is this exchange that included the words, "I love you." We have now confirmed that it was said by Mateen to his wife. And that could be a critical piece of evidence for investigators as they decide whether to charge her for whatever role, if they come to this point, whatever role they think she may have had in the planning and the execution of this mass shooting. It's still too early to tell whether they will charge her. We are told that there are charges that are being considered, but we've also been told that nothing is imminent.
Fascination with this woman. Everyone wants to know what she knew, when she knew it, and how much she was involved with this, with his planning and that sort of thing. But when you talk about the charges, Jeff, any indication, I mean, if somebody didn't actually commit a crime, but may have known about it, what do investigators and law enforcement do with someone like that?
Well, in some cases, they charge them. If you look back at Oklahoma City and Michael Fortier, who was charged in that case, ended up serving 10 years. Part of the reason he got charged and ended up behind bars is because he was aware of the planning that went into the Oklahoma City bombing. So in some ways there are similarities here. Did she know that her husband was taking these steps to carry out the attack? So that's what investigators are wrestling with right now. And part of the difficulty here is getting into her mind in a way. What was she thinking? Did she know that he was casing Disney World or casing the nightclub? And so that's what investigators are trying to do right now. Gather as much evidence as they can. They are looking at her digital footprint as well as his, and forensic evidence as well. So they're building a case. The question is, will there be charges?
And it's what we hear over and over again from officials: see something, say something, and it could cost you if you don't, in this case, possibly. Jeff, I also want to ask you about his past. What more are we learning about his past?
Well, if you look back at his record, and I was just looking at his grades from middle school, high school, so we're looking at his record, and there are incidents in his past that, you know, if you're looking back trying to develop a profile here, he had some erratic behavior when he was growing up. He was expelled, suspended for fights or other types of altercations, suspended 48 times during high school. So that alone stands out as someone who was having a difficult time fitting in and adjusting. You know, does that paint a picture of someone who would then go on to commit a mass attack like this? Well, no, there are other factors along the way, but investigators are stretching back years into his background. In addition, though, to what we're finding with his high school and middle school record, you find interaction with coworkers. He stated at one point that to a supervisor that, you know, his father was never happy with anything that he would do. So there are some little signs along the way that this is someone who was having a difficult time fitting in. And then in the weeks before the attack, you have him going online and looking at speeches by ISIS's leader, and then looking at stories about the San Bernardino terrorist. And so there are little warning signs as you go along the way, as you go along the path to this mass shooting last weekend.
Jeff Pegues in Washington. Thanks, Jeff.